I saw an interview you did with your buddy Eddie Redmayne, I think about a year ago, and you talked about how it's like dangerous to have a plan, right, as an actor.
Mm.
I mean, that being said, I look at the last few years as you start to do stuff after the 50 Shades movies, and it does feel like there's some kind of plan in place, whether it's, just associating with like great actors like Killian,
Yeah.
with Dinklage, doing smaller, cool work like A Private War. Like, I mean, what was in your head like that coming off of that? Was there a sense of like what I need to kind of show people I can do outside of something like that?
Yeah, I think you're right. Like, I think it's like it's still really hard to plan. It's almost like it's hard to plan it in a like, particularly having three kids, having to be like, right, I love this job, but it's 6 months and it's in
Right.
Timbuktu. I'm going like, Jesus, it's so hard to plan ahead, and so there's a sense of that. And actually, planning the actual work is easier when you have a choice, I've got to say. And I've been lucky now for 8 years or whatever. I've had a bit of a choice of the work I do. And yeah, of course, there's a bit, it's often just like, what am I drawn to? And maybe there's a sort of natural sense of like, well, I've just done something like this and I feel like I haven't really shown this side of myself, but I love this script. So it's not just, I'm not doing it just to show that side of myself. I really want to do it. And by having that choice, I've been able to make those decisions. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah, there's probably a bit of rebuilding again based on what I'm talking about. Like Lucy Mangan's article, a bit of like trying to prove to people that I'm more than they think I am, if that's all they've seen, those films and stuff. And I've been working away at that, and I think I've made good strides in that in the last 6 months particularly. And
It
it's
seems like
about
that's the constant for most any actor, and certainly in your case, I mean, this is the recurring theme. You talk about the early, as you segued from modeling into acting. I mean, it's just the
sure,
age-old story. It's just like they
sure,
remember the last role or two, and you just got to keep showing them there's more to me than that.
absolutely. And there's a challenge in that I really love, and I've always loved a challenge, and I will always seek out a challenge. So I'm up for it. I'm totally up for it, and it's just a thing. Um, there's just yes, you have a different reason for every job you do, and I feel like the more you're working, the more consistently your work is received well. A plan is slightly more easier to form, but it's still essentially overall hard to have a firm plan with what's going to happen.